Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be doing my base face. 5 products, 4 brushes, and let's get this thing started. So I'm starting out with color correcting tinted moisturizer in the shade Light. I'm going to take my favorite brush, the Sigma F80 brush. It's a flat top kabuki, and I'm going to stipple the product in by just pressing the product into the skin and then buffing it out on the edges where I don't need as much coverage. You want to make sure you stipple where you need more coverage. You can see how it's just blending in and covering up that redness. You can see I'm avoiding directly in the eye area as much as possible because I want the least amount of product on that part of my face so that it doesn't crease. You can see how well this just covered up the redness in my face. Next, I'm going to take ShadowSense in the shade Candlelight. It is an eyeshadow that has a peachy undertone. From the oranginess in the eyeshadow, it will cancel out some of the blue. I only want a tad bit because it is cream to powder, and so it will dry out my skin a little bit since I tend to have very dry skin. So I just stamp that in with my finger, and as you can see, it just cancels out the blue right there. Next thing I'm going to do is take tinted moisturizer in a darker shade. This is the shade Deep. Sometimes I use the shade Medium Deep. I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of the cap. Then I'm going to take my brush. This is the Sigma F05. I'm going to swirl it around on the cap, working the product into the brush. Then I'm going to apply my bronzer. I don't want to apply it straight right here. That's just the bottom of where I want it to be. So I'm actually just going to line my hand up right here, basically from the top of your ear to your mouth. And I'm actually going to put the bronzer right above that. And that's the start of where I want it to be, kind of where your blush would go. And then I'm going to work it downwards just a tad, and work it upwards just a tad. And there you have it. It just gives a nice lifted look. And it's not too cool. It's got red undertone in it. I'm also just going to apply this to the sides of the forehead just to give a more bronzed look, like so. I also like to drag it along the side of the face and right along the jawline, making sure that I don't have too much product on there. And there you go. Can you tell the difference between this side and this side? Also, if you'd like to contour your nose, what I do is I simply just pinch the brush and I swipe it along the sides of my nose and at the bottom. So you want to go from the tip of your eyebrow down to the bottom of your nose, and then you're going to make a semicircle on the bottom of your nose as well. Next, I would do my eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, and then I would go in with my concealer. I do my concealer after, that way I'm able to clean up any eyeshadow that may have got too far down under where I want it to be. For placement wise, I like to keep my eyeshadow about stopping right here so that the eyes look lifted. But I'm not going to be doing eyeshadow for this tutorial, so I will just put my concealer on now. So I've applied my concealer in a U shape a little further below the eyes. The reason for this is I'm going to take my brush, the F64, and I'm going to blend that product upward. And I want the least amount of product as possible right under the eye because that's where I tend to get the most creasing. Less product there, the less creasing you will get. So as you can see, I'm just going to stamp it where I placed the product, and then I'm going to fluff it up under the eye, like so. And then I'm going to blend the edges. And you can see that just gave a nice lifted look, and I don't have too much under my eye, so I probably won't get too much creasing. Now, if you've used too much concealer like I did this time, I have a little too much on this eye, I go back in with my foundation brush. Sometimes I put up a little more foundation on it, and I just blend the edges of the concealer. For my last and final product, I will use powder. The powder actually comes in this container, which has a brush on top. I prefer to use my own brush, so I actually untwist this top and pour it into a container like this. Now this brush, I'm going to be using the Sigma F10. This is my favorite powder brush. I'm just going to stamp the powder underneath my eyes and in my T-zone. Top of the T, leg of the T. A lot of times I like to finish with powder all over the face. That's it for the base face. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to my notifications to see more. Bye guys, have a wonderful day.